I represent Anand Group, and we are into auto component manufacturing with 19 companies and 59 plants spread across India. We have a vast product portfolio which covers basically chassis, engine, transmission, safety, and cabin module components. And happy to share that we are actually in all the segments of the automotive, that is passenger vehicle, commercial vehicle, two-wheeler, and of course of tractors. Now, as I reflect on the year gone by and list the issues and the challenges we faced, I think we faced issues in the first wave, the second wave, and of course the V-shaped recovery which came in between. So it also created its own challenges and learnings. So as I see, I mean, being a component industry, I mean, we have the exposure. If I talk about the exposure, we have exposure of buying components across the globe. Of course, Indian suppliers, our tier 2s, our tier 3s. And as I see, I mean, the last 1.5 years, I mean, the challenges, of course, the logistics, that's one of the major ones. Anand Group as a whole, we are almost 18% import dependent supplier. So you can understand our fate. I mean, 18% of imports, and containers are not available, ships are not available, lead time doubled, tripled, costs are doubled, tripled. So big challenge. I mean, now if we go back to the drawing board, the way we designed our supply chain strategy. So the supply chain strategy very clearly said import +1. But we've been actually very slow in getting onto it, but this pandemic has taught us and brought the pace into the speed of developing local suppliers. I mean, within the state suppliers or within the hub suppliers. So that is something which we have actually learned, and we have started doing it very fast, aggressively. At the same time, I mean, other challenges, I mean, we also have pockets of excellence centers, we call them, like one particular supplier sitting in Czechoslovakia supplying across the globe, like a typical chip manufacturer sitting in US supplying to everywhere. And then now this supplier is gone, we are all struggling. So lessons are learned, at least on this particular front, which is import +1. We earlier used to say China +1, now it is import +1. So that is actually has taken pace, and we are aggressively, we have started working on the strategy. I mean, Mr. Khatri, you rightly mentioned about the risk management at the supplier end. I mean, we all, by process, we all do ERM, entrepreneurial resource management. We all do it, but I mean, how seriously we do it and how profoundly the points are captured, but how profoundly do we take actions on those points? Very well said, Mr. Khatri. I think that's something wherein, though it's there on the drawing board, it's there, we have written it, but I mean, the actions are missing, which have suddenly taken pace, and we are there. Thirdly, of course, we were discussing even before the call, I mean, the commodity prices. I think we've been hit badly. As a component manufacturer, we generally look at the OEM to compensate the commodity price increases, because we generally have those kind of indexing with the OEMs. So we, being at a position, a bigger company, we can still hold on to, and we can still manage these price increases which are happening at the commodity, be it a steel, rubber, or rare earth materials. So there is a major increase. Now the challenge comes with our tier 2s and tier 3s, wherein they have to absorb these hefty increases month on month, and at the same time the payments are asked in advance. So I don't know the reason. At times I think about it. I think probably PLI to be blamed. I mean, the exports have risen so well in steel industry specifically, and we are actually we have a demand supply gap, major gap in India, which should have been looked before going in for such kind of schemes. So, but anyhow, I mean, that's a challenge, and really we are struggling, and that is an area, though we are tying up with banks, we are helping our suppliers ourselves, but that's a challenge situation. That's really a challenge situation. And of course, the people front, we all faced, I mean, everybody went back to his home. They wanted to be there with their families. And then that's a challenge. But there, I mean, the strategy, I believe, for the state and the state, I think should work, wherein people are generally closer to their hometowns and the industrial hubs are with a proximity to their hometowns. I think will surely work out. So I'll say, I mean, the challenges are still there. The pace of certain issues. I mean, Mr. Khatri, you mentioned about digitization. The pace has taken. I mean, the speed is much more, or is 10 times the way we were doing things earlier to digitize ourselves or to automate ourselves. So that pace has come in the system. But however, there are things which we still need to address. We did have our knee-jerk reactions to control the things at that time, because you cannot let a customer down. You have to supply. And we took some shortcuts. We managed the supplies, but still the long-term issue remains, which we are trying to address slowly and steadily. And I hope the pandemic has shaken up and given us a lot of learnings to actually act on. The dependency on a single source has actually hit us badly, and that's why I said, I mean, import plus one. So that is a clear strategy which we are working on. That in any case we have import source available, and we also have a local source available. I mean, within India. At the same time, as far as the Indian sources are concerned, I mean, the Indian suppliers, especially, I mean, we're talking about the tier 2s and tier 3s are concerned. So our tier 1s, or for Tata Motors tier 2s. So there we do have shifted to a strategy of which we call a hub-wise strategy. So what we are trying to do is that we have 3 hubs wherein our major plants are located. One is Pune, Chennai, and of course in NCR, which is Gurgaon. So now our strategy is, what we are doing is, we are, irrespective of the company, we are going by the commodity. For example, now in this particular region in NCR, we have 6 of our companies, which is, I mean, producing, be it shock absorber, be it Excel, or any other product for that matter. Now we are creating focused supplier bases here. Now I have a supplier base, a rubber supplier here in Northern India, who will cater to these 6 companies. And a similar supplier will be there in Pune, and the similar supplier will be there in Chennai. So we are crossing those company boundaries, and we are actually getting into the zonal boundaries to ensure that we have suppliers in each of these zones. So when I said that, so there could be a supplier who is manufacturing a part A in northern India, and there could be a supplier X in Chennai who will also be manufacturing the same component. So we do have a diversification of the component. I mean, we can buy it from, in case of exigency, the 3 locations are available with the suppliers with the similar tooling, though there is an additional investment, which is because of the tooling, but we are going ahead with that, and we are going by this hub strategy to ensure that we have a diversified supplier base as far as T2 and T3 are concerned. Okay. So this is wherever we have a possibility. Now there are certain suppliers which are wherein we do not have a possibility actually to shift. So that is a longest lead time kind of a component which we are looking at. We talked about semiconductors, so it is a single supplier base, and the lead time which we see is almost a 2-year lead time before we actually develop a local source or an alternate source. So we are working on that strategy. So, but as of now, that is in the paper, and we are working on it as far as strategy is concerned. But the time period to actually implement would be at least 2 years down the line. Like, we have a policy which we call Anand House of Quality Culture. So that policy, the basis of that policy is, of course, we have to reach to a level where we call it a level 5, which is a world-class level as far as quality performance or delivery or technology or automation or digitization is concerned. But at the same time, there is an underlying, there's a major objective. The second major objective is that our tier twos and tier threes should be parallel to what we are doing. So that means the level at which we are moving, they also have to move parallelly along with us to be at the same level where we are going to be. So, I mean, these tier twos and tier threes probably do not have the bandwidth or do not have the availability of technology and education to be there on their own. So we run a program which is called VSME, which is Visionary Small and Medium Enterprise. So this program which we are running from 2009, I mean, it was launched in December 2009. And so far we have covered 350 suppliers, I mean, Anand Group suppliers, irrespective of the company or the joint venture or whatsoever. So there are 350 suppliers wherein we have already trained them in VSME. Now, when we talk about VSME, there are some basic concepts on which we train the people. So these are basically the flow management is one of the major things on which we teach them. The second is of course Hyjunka, the quality management, the safety, the 5S. So all these are bucketed together to ensure that at least they have a quality level which is expected. I mean, at our AHQC, that is at level 1. So that level 1 actually ensures that you have a proper quality standards maintained while delivering the products to the customer. So this is all done in a collaborative manner. I mean, we are not charging a penny to any of our suppliers for this. And these training programs are not only classroom training programs, they are actually physical workshops conducted on the shop floor, creating a model line and then replicating it across the plant. So that is the way it happens. And we have a dedicated team, we call it manufacturing excellence team, those who actually go visit the suppliers, stay with them, work with them, ensure that they come to a level. And then the first level is, of course, as I said, level 1, and then slowly they move to gradually level 2, level 3. So it's a complete hand-holding which is done with these suppliers to bring them to a level which is actually, I mean, we are collaborating in full way with full transparency. What we are doing in our manufacturing footprint is same as replicated to our suppliers' manufacturing footprints, though with a slight delay, but it's there. And that is what we are pulling all our suppliers to collaborate. Information sharing, of course, it happens. When they come to visit us, they come to visit our model lines, our plants. The information is clearly open to them. I mean, what is our efficiency level, at what OEE we are functioning, at what maintenance levels we are functioning. So the data is open to them. They can actually see and analyze from where we have come to what stage, so they can see the data. And the same way, when we go to them, they also share the data so that improvement can be brought in. So there's a clear transparency. And these are the suppliers, those who actually grow with us in VSME are the suppliers, those who are actually getting more and more share of business to ensure that they stay with us and they grow with us. So that's a collaborative approach. As on one of the examples, I thought I'll mention that. And of course, as far as the pandemic is concerned, the financial crisis which happened, I mean, we supported a lot to all our suppliers. As far as the financial, financially, I mean, we supported them at a very low interest rates, which were actually comparative interest rates. So that, because going to the bank, it's again a challenge, a lot of documentation, a lot of work, a lot of time delays, which happens. So I mean, we actually help them to at least ensure a working capital amount to be there with them. And I think those are clear indicatives of the collaborative approach which we follow at Anand. When we talk about collaboration and transparency, we are generally very transparent with the OEMs, and our bill of materials are generally shared with the OEMs, and hence our commodity fluctuations are generally indexed and compensated by the customers. Of course, Tata Motors as well. So now, to answer that question particularly, I mean, the way it has been asked, so the compensation for the commodity has been there And I mean, from years together, because it is already indexed with the OEMs and we are getting that compensation regularly. Now, this word regularly has meaning because some OEMs compensate you after a quarter, some after 6 months, some after a year. Now, with this situation of such a dynamic change or such a drastic increase in the commodity prices, the OEMs have even gone out of the way and settle you out of turn. I'll just mention this, like for example, Tata Motors in the month of January, I mean, they actually went out of turn to compensate the suppliers because they were not able to sustain that increase. So that increase is there. And my only message is I think we should be more transparent to the OEMs at the time of settling the business. And we should be clear what commodity and what quantity are we using so that that is well indexed with the OEMs and you are compensated adequately as per the cycle set by the OEM.